All right. Good evening to those listening. It's February 2nd, 2026, 11:15 p.m. I made a video, but it took like 47 minutes and it's way too long. So we're not gonna bother with that one. I mean, it's good. Maybe I'll put it out if anybody wants to listen to it, but it's long and I kind of messed up a little bit on it on the timing of some of the things. So I'm just gonna do it over again. All right. So are we in the tribulation right now? I think it's possible. I'm going to throw out some theories and throw out some things. Not saying that it's, is. Obviously, we need to research and always pray for Holy Spirit discernment. But I'm going to throw some things out there about how we could be in the tribulation right now. So, first off, I want to say that let's go to Daniel 7:25 right now. Start there. All right. 7:25. Let me highlight it. All right. So this also makes me think that we have to go through half of the tribulation. 3.5 years we have to go through, and maybe a little bit more. I don't think it's a pre-trib rapture, at least not from what I'm going to show you here. All right, so it says, and he, who's he? The Antichrist. The Antichrist will speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints. That's a change. Shall vex the saints, oppress the saints, but not wear out. It kind of means the same thing. So, okay, we'll roll with it. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times and laws. Think might not be, I think there's a different word. Somebody pointed that out too. Change times and laws. But this last part here, listen to what this says. And they, who's they? That's us who are still here. They shall be given into his hand. Whose hand? The Antichrist's hands, until the time and times and the dividing of time. So to me, that means that we go through 3.5 years, or maybe a little bit more. And all depends on everything too. You never know. People will be dying from before the tribulation, starting the tribulation, during the tribulation, and all the way to the midpoint, and then even maybe after. So if we are still here for 3.5 years, let's figure out where that puts us. Now, again, nobody knows the day or hour, so don't think I'm trying to set a date. Even if we set a date, it doesn't matter because there's so many variables. So we got what I think is going to happen. There's going to be a worldwide blackout. And when that happens, nobody's going to know what day or hour it is after a little while because all our clocks are going to be gone. We might have some clocks that have batteries or watches that might still work. But if we're put in jail or whatever, we're not going to know the day or hour anyway, and nobody's going to be worried about what day or hour it is. They're just going to be trying to survive. And it also says that unless those days were shortened. So if the days are shortened, does it mean the days are shortened? There's less days? Or does it mean the hours in the day are shorter? Either way, that's going to mess up time too. So no one's going to know the day or the hour. So even if we set a day and say, okay, April of 2029, we don't know if that's the day. It's going to be different. Right? Hope you're on board so far. Next, I'm going to show you, I went through ChatGPT to find out the peace plan that Trump just put in. So I asked it. Let me make sure I'm on the right thing here. I asked it. Okay, let me get it all on full screen here. So there we go. So I asked it. Where it is. Get over here. I asked it the peace plan, the info and the dates. So it gave me dates. So September 29th was when he unveiled the 20-point peace proposal. And then October 9th, the ceasefire deal was announced, and October 10th, which is a special day for me, the number 10 is. The number 10 has been, I've been getting confirmations with the number 10 for many months now, and October is the 10th month. So I used October 10th, 2025 as a date. Don't know exactly. It could be October 1st, October 3rd, whatever, October 9th. So when does it start? We don't know exactly. So, but just giving it a roundabout, we'll say October 10th. And if you take October 1st and you add 1,290 days, which is 3.5 years, you come up with April 13th, 2029, the day that Apophis is supposed to pass by or hit Earth. Now, if that day was the midpoint of the tribulation, then that means it started on it's possible that the 3.5 year tribulation started on October 1st, 2025. Again, we don't know when Apophis is actually going to go by or hit Earth. That's just their calculations. They might have just gave that day, and then so everybody's thinking it's that day and it's a different day. Anyway, it's the roundabout we're looking at. So we don't know October 1st, October 10th, October 9th, whatever. In the roundabout range, it would be April of 2029. And again, that can all be different. So I had all this in here about the dates of all this peace plan. So the Board of Peace started in January 2026, and phase 1 just ended, and this today, February 2nd, started phase 2. The Rafah border crossing reopened. Oh, come on. So it gives us here the peace plan. And I don't think this is the covenant with many. The covenant with many, I think, is actually 1 week, 7 days, not 7 years. So this could be just the 3.5 years. We don't know. And remember, nobody knows the day or the hour of Jesus coming, not when the 3.5 years of tribulation start. And it doesn't mean that we don't know when the antichrist will be revealed. That's the day of his return that we don't know. Right? Okay. Moving forward. They got the peace plan signed October 9th, and it comes into effect on the 10th. We're just going to go with that as a day. Phase 2 is underway just now. It even could have said that it's got February 2nd, but it also even said, where is it at? So phase 2 is ongoing. Just finished phase 1. So I don't know where it's gone now. It's here somewhere. So I asked it about October 1st. They said there's nothing there. It just said that they were still negotiating. Okay, so here it is. So it's September 30th to October 1st. They're reviewing it and continuing negotiations on the 1st. Here's the thing. Here's some of the people that are involved, the countries and leaders that are involved. But again, it also says that they will agree to a covenant. Not sign, but agree. So there's another thing too. All right, so to start, if these are scenarios, if the 3.5 year tribulation started in October of 2025, then we move forward to Daniel's 70 weeks, which would start, if this scenario fits, then Daniel's 70 weeks would start around December of 2027. And then the beginning of April would be the last week. Now, the reason I say that it's an actual 7-day covenant, and not a 7-year covenant is because the animal sacrifices, the daily sacrifices have to happen. And it says it's in the week. And in the midst of the week, so the middle of the week, the Antichrist stops the daily sacrifices and breaks the covenant. Well, do you really see 3.5 years of animal sacrifices happening? Minus a week, of course, or 3.5 days. Well, I guess the last week, if you go by that. No, there's going to be worldwide condemnation. There's going to be animal rights activists going nuts. There's no way there's going to be animal sacrifices for 3.5 every day for 3.5 years. No, that's why I think it's an actual week, and that will start Daniel 70 weeks. If it started December of 2027, it also says that the streets will be rebuilt. Now, Gaza is going to be rebuilt. They're going to be the streets and the wall. But Jerusalem also has to have that happen too. So something must happen. And maybe the Temple Mount gets destroyed and they have to rebuild so they can have a third temple too. And maybe something happens where their streets and walls are damaged and they have to rebuild those too at that time. So, phase 3, we got best case scenario late this year, fourth quarter of 2026. Most likely scenario, early to mid 2027. And a delayed scenario, late 2027. If it wound up being this version, it would fit. Now, it's not the actual going in and doing it. It's the declaration, not the declaration, but the Daniel 9, starting with verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon the holy city to finish the transgression and make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring into everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore, verse 25, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment, not the actual construction starting, but the going forth of the commandment to restore. This one says to restore. The other version I looked at didn't. It said to build Jerusalem. To restore and to it's to restore and to build Jerusalem. I thought it said to rebuild Jerusalem. But restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince, shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks, 69 weeks. The streets shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. I think this construction with Gaza is not the same as that, but similar. After 62 weeks, shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. Is that our Messiah, or because that's what they always said? Oh, it was 70 A.D. or back in when Jesus died, he was the Messiah. He was cut off. But what is if it's talking about the Antichrist Messiah? But not for himself, and the people of the prince shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. Everybody says it's 7 years. But what if it is just 1 week? And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of the abominations, he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. He shall confirm with 1 week. So if that last week is in April of 2029, obviously we don't know exactly, just throwing that out there, the midpoint of the tribulation would be right around the middle of April of 2029. And that's when the Antichrist is revealed. And then we come to Daniel 12:12. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,335 days. 1335. 1,335 days. What does that mean? That's 45 days past the 1,290 days, which is the 3.5 years. My scenario theory is possibly the start of the tribulation is October of 2025. Midpoint of the tribulation, actually, let's go to the start of the 70 weeks would be around December 2027, and the midpoint of the tribulation would be April-ish of 2029. When the Antichrist is revealed at the midpoint, he implements the mark of the beast. Well, first he's got to come and say, I'm going to save the world and heal you and do all this, and everybody just take this mark. So maybe this 45 days is the time that the believers, the saints, have to endure and not accept the mark of the beast for 45 days. And then after the 45 days is the rapture and Jesus' second coming. And again, we're not going to know that day or hour. It's going to be different because of all the calamity and everything. We might not know what the day is, and the days being shortened, all of that. We're not going to know. And that's Jesus coming anyway, so we wouldn't know. We're not calculating the day and the hour of the tribulation. That's not what that means. It's the second coming that we can't calculate. We don't know the day or the hour of that. But we could calculate maybe the start of the tribulation, the midpoint of the tribulation, start of the Daniel 70 weeks, the last week, and possibly when the mark of the beast is going to be implemented. All right? So, start of the tribulation, this is all theory. This is all just thrown out there. So again, everybody, research it yourself. Call on the Holy Spirit for discernment. Start of the tribulation. This is all scenario theory. October 2025. Don't know the exact day. And then start of Daniel 70, the start of Daniel 70 weeks would be December-ish 2027. Midpoint of the tribulation would be April-ish 2029. Same time that Apophis is supposed to come. Maybe that's where Wormwood comes in too. And then 45 days after that, what would that be? April would be May, possibly June of 2029 would be the rapture. And again, we don't know the day or the hour, just throwing it out there. June might actually be something sooner than that or later than that, depending on the short. Well, if it's shortened days would be less. But again, we're not going to know. And most people will be either dead by then or accepted the mark of the beast or holding out of the mark of the beast, denying the mark of the beast. And are you going to know what day or month or hour or anything is? If you're in prison or whatever, who knows? We're not going to know. We're not going to know. So there it is. I'm just throwing all that there. Is there anything else I need to say? I tried to make it as short as possible. Still want to be in 18 minutes, but the other video was a lot longer. But I went more in depth in it. So if you want to listen to that, that would be good too. A lot of people won't because it's long, and I know how that goes. It's hard to listen to a video for that long. So that's why I try to make this one shorter. Hopefully you understand. Please put your comments in, what you think. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen. I'm throwing out this is a scenario, which could possibly be because the peace plan, Trump's Gaza peace plan, could fit almost exactly for the timing of Apophis. And if that's the case, then we can calculate some things that are in between there also. And then let me know what you think about the 1,335 days. If it is the midpoint of the tribulation, and the mark of the beast is implemented right around the time that the Antichrist is revealed, 45 days after might be the time that the saints have to endure. Blessed is he that waiteth to that day. Maybe we have to endure 45 days, or again, die, being beheaded or dying for Jesus in whatever way that it happens. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. God bless. And let me know what you think in the comments. God bless.